Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed day. Mine's doing really good. We're warming up. I was done with winter. I'm glad we got some good weather here. But I'll tell you what, one thing about good weather, we'll have 2 days of sunshine and they will just literally spray the heck out of our skies. And then the third day it'll be all gloomy and it'll rain a little bit. And then we'll have 2 more nice days. They'll spray the heck out of us. And then it'll rain again. It seems to be the same procedure. I wish they would just...
Man, it's almost like the water is getting somehow sucked up into the air, and then it precipitates back down in some sort of cyclical cycle. We could call it the water cycle, but obviously it's the government doing it.
Just leave the skies alone. Let everything...
It's chemtrails on the bingo card. Chemtrails on the bingo card.
Return to normal. So listen.
He's noticing you'll have a nice day, and then it'll get cloudy and cloudier, and then the clouds will get dark, and then it'll rain. Yes, that's what happens. That's what happens in the atmosphere. There's a whole Magic School Bus episode about this. Things will evaporate, and then once it condenses enough in the atmosphere to become dense, darker clouds, like, eventually it gets dense enough that it falls to the earth as rain or other kinds of precipitation. This is like kindergarten stuff.
I wanted to make a video because CERN was in the news again the other day. They held a press
CERN being where the Large Hadron Collider is.
Conference, and these are some of
chemtrails and weather control on the bingo card.
The things that they were divulging. Everyone knows that that CERN is that 17-mile Large Hadron Collider that's located on the border between France and Switzerland. And what it is, they just send particles around there at just below the speed of light, and then these particles collide. So anyway, it's situated on an ancient town that's called St. Genus Pauli.
I mean, it's Europe. You could throw a rock and hit something ancient. That's not as impressive as you make it sound. Jesse Courteous, thank you for gifting 5 memberships on YouTube. Much appreciated.
And in the times of the Romans, when this city was built, it was called Apollicum. So anyway, the
Apollo-cum?
Town back then in the Roman days, it had a temple dedicated to Apollyon, which of course means the destroyer. And there was a lot of issues for them to be able to build that city there. It took a lot of pull from both the French government and the Swiss government, but they overcame all obstacles and built it there. And the question is, why was that area so important? Why did they have to build it right there?
I don't know the specific reasons. I would imagine they were pretty real material reasons that they picked that area that you could Google that don't involve magic or whatever explanation you're going to fill in lieu of the real answer, which again, you could look up, but you're choosing not to.
But they did. So anyway, I just think it's very funny that these people have all these ceremonies. They have the goddess Shiva, who's outside of CERN. And
that's a statue, sir, not a ceremony.
That is, of course, their mascot. And that is the god of both destruction and then rebuilding. And they have all these elaborate satanic rituals. A lot of them are held at night, like that one that supposedly had a human sacrifice.
You remember when they had that human sacrifice at CERN we all heard about? Crazy scientists.
Hopefully it didn't.
You know how when you think of scientists and you think of a bunch of people in robes doing satanic magic, right? That's what a scientist is, right? All hail science!
Was held at night, and they do all these bizarre dances. If you've never seen it, look up CERN, look up some videos that shows these satanic rituals that they're doing. So anyway, this is what was in the press release the other day.
Does that count for scientism? Yeah, fuck it, sure.
They said that they've actually been able to detect where they're shooting these atoms around this large collider, and they're colliding, and they break down into smaller pieces of matter. And they've noticed that some of the small pieces of matter that shoot off disappear. And when they disappear,
To be clear, when they say disappear, they are unable to continue tracking them. That does not mean they have definitively said they disappear into nothingness. They stop being able to detect them, those particular particles.
that means that those particles are going into another dimension.
Does it definitely mean that? Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub. Mathematically, we also do know that there are other spatial dimensions, or at least that seems to be the case. So, humiliated grapes with an alleged bingo. Let's take a look. Incorrectly believes evidence is self-evident. Hannah mentions Blu-rays, free space, scientism, deep state. You did it. Humiliated grapes. You've done it. Let me, real quick, write your name down. Humiliated grapes. That was one of the quicker bingos we've gotten recently, so that is the bingo winner for the day. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting another sub. Let's see. Humiliated grapes. Cool beans. So congrats, humiliated grapes. Back to it. Where were we? There it is.
And they actually said during that press release that we now believe we have opened up another dimension. We believe we've...
That wouldn't mean we opened one up. Like if a particle was able to traverse physically from the 3 dimensions we are aware of to some other spatial dimension that we don't normally detect, that wouldn't mean we opened up a portal. It would mean that those particles are able to move in a way that we do not currently understand. And also, not even sure if what he's saying is what happened. They could have just, like, stopped detecting the particles and he's drawing weird conclusions. I don't know. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub to Derg Turgs. How you been, Derg Turgs?
We've opened up a portal into another dimension. And they're hoping that either they can send something through.
Another oh, I think I see the problem. He thinks it means another dimension as in, like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. He thinks it means, like, another plane of existence, when in reality, if it even says anything, when they say dimension, they don't mean, like, another plane of existence as much as they mean a direction, a place that we cannot 3D explain? Read Flatland. I've read Flatland enough to vaguely get what he's saying, but this is all probably bullshit anyway. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub again. Thank you.
And this is what they said all nonchalantly. They said, or maybe something will come through from that side. Yeah, buddy, anything that comes through from the other side of that portal, you don't want no part of it.
Must be demons. Isn't it weird that we live in a world where we're talking about particle physics, but then there's still a guy who's like, I bet it's demons! It's an interesting juxtaposition, isn't it? Like, you're dealing with, like, cutting-edge experimental physics versus a guy who thinks magic is real. The power scaling for humans is wild, isn't it? We just run the absolute gamut. Fennikagami says, I think it's very telling how people like this think that the only way to reach an understanding of the world beyond their own is to use black magic. They simultaneously are admitting how much they struggle with even basic scientific knowledge and are displaying their sophistry. You know. Unironically, if the human race continues to exist, we could literally have, like, spaceships, like the Starship Enterprise, and they'd be running into random people who are like, now sure, it could be salt aliens trying to steal our vital salts, but have we considered, Mr. Spock, that it might be demons? That's unfortunate. I don't blame Vulcans for being upset with humans. We're very absurd. Is Q a demon? No, but Trelane? Possibly.
I don't know if you guys remember Stephen Hawkins. He said, listen, don't even
Honking.
turn that thing on. You have no idea what you're dealing with. You turn that on, you could open up a whole black hole small enough to suck the whole world into it. But they didn't listen.
And now he's dead, so who won that argument?
So anyway, if they do open up that portal, and this is something we don't know. This is something that I just think is very strange. Number one, why they had to build it right there on top of that city dedicated to Apollyon. Why did they have to build it there?
Again, I would imagine there were practical space and economic concerns, as there always are.
And go through all that trouble, but they did. And now they're having all kinds of strange ceremonies where it's been said they're trying to open a portal.
It's been said. It's been said. Who? Who said that? Why? Why did they say that?
And now they're saying they actually did.
Who's
Could
saying?
this be?
MH Darkbeast says, we haven't paid a visit to Dr. Mumby in a while, so I'll give you a choice. Ooh, thank you for the links. We'll check later. Roy Land with a $2 super chat says, how's the computer working? It's not the one I'm using for stream right now, but I have it set up over here, and I will be starting to use it tomorrow. Tomorrow morning I have time set aside to finally, like, move this streaming computer off and actually fully replace it with that one. So it's all good. Thank you very much, Roy Land, to you and your partner for sending that to me. Seems to run great.
Be a fulfillment of Revelation 9, 1-3. We certainly have no way of knowing this. It's just food for thought. Revelation 9:3 says, and the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto...
By the way, Royal Land, those instructions were both hilarious, cute, and helpful, so thank you.
...the earth. And to him was given the key to the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there rose smoke out of the pit as smoke out of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as scorpions of the earth have power, and they will be able to torment men for 5 months. People, is that what CERN's all about, is opening up that portal?
I don't think it is. Nowhere in their mission statement does it say that.
So listen to this. This is something else I saw, and I thought right then, if you people are so stupid, you're going to continue after this. There's a station, or excuse me, a station. There's a channel called BP Earthwatch, and this guy was showing how that when CERN went online the other day, and when they said that they believed they opened up that portal, when they did that, it showed that the magnetic field of the earth, the one that protects us from all the rays of the sun, the minute they turned that thing up to full power, when that happened, our magnetic pole shifted right up to that spot where CERN's at. And
That's absurd. Everyone would have noticed that. Do you know how many things on the Earth depend upon, like, compasses? No. Everyone would have heard about that. What are you talking about?
it distorted the whole thing. And there was a spot time there for over an hour where we almost had no protection from the sun's rays.
That's so nuts that he's just claiming this. That's absurd. That is not true. Not how anything works.
Our magnetic shield that shields us from the sun was all distorted, and it was sitting over CERN.
I just want to know what source he's getting these bullshit claims from. Like, obviously he's hearing them from somewhere. Where?
People, that just goes to show you that they're in over their head. They're in over their head. So anyway, keep an eye on CERN. Well, I'll tell you what, we don't have to keep an eye on CERN. They open up that bottomless pit and all those demonic entities come out. People are going to realize right then that they screwed up.
Smug guy in his garage, very certain that soon the scientists at CERN will learn their lesson by opening a portal to hell. What a specific character. Harley Davidson boomer guy. Smugly happy that the CERN scientists will get their comeuppance by demons dragging them to hell. What a specific character that man is playing.
So anyway,
Hydrate.
Let's keep an eye on that, see what happens. You know, the minute I saw that, it reminds me of back when we built the first nuclear bomb. You know that when we built the first
I didn't even think you were that old.
nuclear bomb, they did not know if that first one, the very first test, they literally didn't know if it would light the whole atmosphere on fire and completely consume and destroy the whole Earth.
It did. We're all ghosts. Surprise!
They didn't know that. So what they decide to do? Oh, let's do it anyway. That's what they're doing at CERN, even though they saw that it distorted our entire magnetic field, and you know it could open up, like Stephen Hawking said, a black hole. They're like, oh, let's just do it anyway. What the heck? Guys, listen, we are living in the end times. There's no doubt about that. And one of these days, literally, all hell's gonna break loose. Anyhow, I just want to give you something to think about. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.
Oh boy, what an ending. Yes, sir. That's clouds and or contrails. Thanks. So he's doing great. Doing awesome.